While everyone knows the songs, the hits, and the high notes, not many people know what was really going on with Heart's Queen of Rock behind the curtain. So today, we're talking about it. Here's the untold sex life of Ann Wilson. But before we go deep into that, let's do a speed run through her journey into music. Back in the golden age of rock excess, the 70s and 80s, Ann got her first fame break in 1970, when she became the lead soloist for her rock band Heart, where she co-wrote songs that would eventually top the US charts. Her music journey started when she was 12 and extremely ill. Her music-loving parents gifted her a guitar to keep her company, and although she was never really into it, she would later come to use music as her lifeboat during her teen years of being obese. She saw puberty as the age where girls just naturally either become so self-confident that they're popular, or they fall off the cliff of being totally ugly, totally unpopular. Everything's wrong with them, she deadpans. And of course, I fell off the cliff. This experience would set the stage for the development of her sonic vocals. The band's tickets sold out because people wanted to see and hear Ann perform on stage. Her voice was the center of attraction. While the media loved to focus on male rock stars and their conquests, Ann was having her own backstage adventures. Her first public boyfriend was Mike Fisher. He was the older brother of Roger Fisher, Heart's lead guitarist. To evade the military draft in Vancouver, Mike came down to watch them perform a gig in Washington, and from there, he and Ann hit it off. Ann fell so much in love with Mike that she begged him to become the band's manager. The couple dated for 9 years, and later broke up in 1979. Because according to Ann, Mike fell in love with another woman. People had a lot to say about Ann's relationships back then. Gossip flew, and rumors swirled. Was she dating that guitarist? What about that producer? Did she hook up with that celebrity backstage? It was frustrating to Ann that all people wanted to do was talk about her in a sexual manner. In an interview with Kelly Clarkson, Ann recalls, "I hate when people come backstage and they say something stupid to me. I'm like, I just worked my tail off on stage and sang my behind off. Could you maybe reference that instead of maybe something that is so weird?" Ann was told one of the weirdest things backstage in 1977, and it led to the creation of Barracuda, one of the greatest Heart songs ever written. Heart had just opened up for another band, the Kinks, in Detroit, and while in the dressing room, a radio promoter came over to say something shocking to Ann. He asked me, "Hey Annie, how's your lover?" And I went, "Oh, Michael's fine. He's right over there." Because I was with Michael Fisher at the time. And he said, "No, your sister, your lover." Ann was appalled. The man had had the effrontery to walk up to her face and tell her that she was in a lesbian relationship with Nancy Wilson, her younger sister, who had joined Heart in 1974. It was a lot more than an insinuation. It's like, if there's 2 chicks, it has to be sexy, she said. It made me really mad. It really pissed me off, and I went back to the hotel and wrote the words to Barracuda. It was a song of rage and fury. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Ann said, "Those lyrics were written by my true nature, in true rage. I hope that that song will come in handy now when women are thinking about what they want to do and not do." Ann's Barracuda became an anthem for women who were sick of sexual harassment and innuendos from men. It changed the status quo of rock women being complacent with being objectified by the male-dominated rock population. Women accept willingly that they have to turn themselves inside out to be good enough. "Big, plump fish lips, makeup, F-able," she said. It's really a problem for young women in their childbearing years. They need to realize they are more than wombs. They need to realize they are valuable. To Ann, it is not just a gender problem, but a power issue. Everyone should be treated with respect. She also flipped the middle finger to beauty standards way before it was trendy. She didn't fit the mold of what a female rock star was supposed to look like. And she didn't care. She had fans who adored her curves, her mind, her dominance. She owned her body, her voice, her stage, and yeah, her sexuality too. But fast forward a bit. After the wild years and heartbreaks, Ann finally found something: peace. In 2015, she married Dean Wetter, a guy she'd known since way back in the 80s. Apparently, they'd had a brief affair back then. No over-the-top rock wedding, no headlines screaming "Rock Queen ties the knot." Just a quiet, sweet, grown-up kind of love, the kind that sticks around. They live happily with Anne's kids, whom she adopted in the 90s. And here's the kicker, Ann Wilson still has it. She's in her 70s now, still rocking, still sexy, still radiating that deep, slow-burning charisma. Her voice remains untouchable even after all these years. She talks about her past with wisdom and warmth, no shame, no regrets. Just chapters in the story of a life lived on her own terms. Talking about alcohol, Anne told People magazine, "I'm not 100% sober. Usually I have a glass of white wine after the show, but that's all it's down to now. It's actually really good, and it does help me with stamina, and I do a really good warm-up." Her honesty makes her a refreshing guest to have in interviews. Anne was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer in July of 2024.
Ann Wilson, lead singer of the classic rock band Heart, revealed she is undergoing cancer treatment. Her band postponed the remaining concerts on its tour
And had to undergo surgery and preventive rounds of chemotherapy. The Wilson sisters had to cancel their tour for Anne's recuperation. "This is merely a pause. I've much more to sing," Anne wrote to fans on her Instagram page. Anne's onstage wheelchair appearance in February of 2025 caused a panicked murmur among fans as people thought she was still sick. She came on her After Thinks dinner podcast to dispel the rumors. "I think some people thought that I was in a wheelchair because of cancer, which I just kicked its ass and I'm nice and clear now. It's not about cancer," Anne said. "It's about me being a klutz and missing a step and falling into a parking lot and busting my elbow in 3 places and then having to have it pinned back together with screws and all that kind of stuff. So, no. This isn't your typical tell-all. It's not a list of lovers or a tabloid reel. Ann Wilson's story isn't just about sex, fame, or even the music. It's about power, owning it, losing it, reclaiming it. It's about walking into every room, every stage, every relationship as a woman who refused to shrink herself to fit expectations. She lived hard, loved fiercely, and sang like the world was on fire. Ann Wilson didn't just sing about love, she lived it. And that's what makes her unforgettable. Behind the hair, the heels, and the high notes was a woman who defied the rules of gender, of beauty, of the music industry itself. Her sex life was human, just like anyone else's, but amplified by the spotlight and distorted by a world that couldn't stop watching. And yet, through it all, Anne stayed true to one thing: her voice. Not just the one that hit the high notes, but the one that spoke up when it mattered and created a timeless masterpiece while doing it. So, whether you came here for the gossip, the glory, or just to celebrate a living legend, what you got was the truth. And in a world of filters, that's the sexiest thing of all. What do you think about Ann Wilson's story? Let us know in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell on her profile. Till next time, folks.